All right, how you guys doing? Day 3, session 1. I'm here with my buddy Stephanie and Jared, and I'm Morgan. We are going to do some off-ball setting. We're gonna do some off-ball and we're gonna do some tight ball stuff today. So it's gonna be, if you guys did yesterday where we did some setter movement stuff, where it was a lot of right foot, a lot of left foot stuff. We're gonna do kind of like an expanded version of this. We're gonna do like some like little workout stuff with it also. Stephanie, I just learned today, doesn't know how to skip or didn't learn how to skip. And some of what we're doing is like kind of essentially it's like a skipping motion. Okay, so she can do the moves, which is really like skipping, but you know, some of you guys might not even know how to skip. So we're gonna do some little workout, stuff like that. Stephanie, you can lead that. Okay, working on skipping or bounding or just like using your legs. It's gonna be like a lot of stuff off of both legs. Where yesterday we were talking more about like targeting it, like how I'm gonna target with my right, or I'm gonna target with my left. Today we're gonna put it in action a little bit more. Some of this might be hard to do at home. We're gonna try to give you the best kind of ways to do it at home. I think a lot of it is just without a ball. We'll do some of this stuff without a ball just to kind of get used to it. Okay, you ready to go, Steph? Ready to skip? Jared knows how to skip.
I know.
Okay. All right. Good. The first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna do just some kind of some path to ball stuff. Okay. So we'll just use one ball and toss it back to me. And let's have you guys get on the net. And you could get on the wall here. We're gonna start with an off-ball move. And also, guys, if you're libero, we're gonna incorporate how you're gonna do this today. So these guys set and they hit, but we're gonna have them be liberos also, and show how liberos can use the same sort of moves. These are kind of like pivot moves. And I think that's really important. Some of the best liberos, as you know, we talked about in some of the setting sessions, like, hey, you gotta get used to using your hands, but also learning like the footwork and athletic ways to do different things. Like, we'll show you guys how to do that. So this doesn't matter if you're, maybe middles, this isn't for you, but outsides, I don't know how much you'll be doing things like this, but you know, anytime you guys that you're learning how to do something that's just athletic, just naturally athletic, how your body works, I think that stuff's really, really important. Okay, so what they're gonna do, we're gonna do a 3-step move, okay? This is gonna be a right, left, right foot pivot, and they're gonna catch. And part of what we're gonna talk about is, I mentioned it briefly yesterday, but we're gonna talk about our path to target, okay? So opposed to our path to the ball. Because if the setter's thinking about the ball too much, definitely the ball, they naturally come just straight to the ball. And so, and this is we understand why, because it's the fastest way, right? It would just, a straight line is the fastest way. So then they get here, but the problem is then they get here and they go, I'm kind of in no man's land. Right? Hands up, Steph, like you're gonna set. Okay. What is she setting? You know, if she's gonna set it to the left side or the middle or something like that, she's gotta make this big body movement. And if she's gonna set it back, then it's kind of like, it's a direct line. Ball can get really tight, things like that. So what we have to think about is our path to target. And actually, before we even do the ball, let's do this real quick, okay? So you guys can kind of think about this at home and walk through this real quick. Just do it real quick, and then we're gonna add a ball to it. Is I'm gonna line up outside. Look, it's an outside set. And I want these guys to make a move, and you guys can come around here, okay? A couple feet from me. Social distancing, so I don't want them more than like 6 feet away, right? That was a joke. They're gonna make a move and just arc around and come back to this point. And what we want to look at here is, when does it look like they're squaring up? Because this is something we say to setters all the time, right? Square up, square up. I mentioned it yesterday. I don't like saying that because I think it goes in one ear and goes out the other. But I want them to take this move past the 10-foot line. We're talking about off-ball setting. It's an emergency set essentially. So it's going to be something that's past the 10-foot line. So and you can just walk it kind of look at them. Let's look at them, Joe. Start over, Steph. And we're gonna see when it looks like they've squared up. And at home, you're watching this. Go ahead. When does it look like they've squared up? Okay, and go. You can go back some. Okay. So the answer to this is, Joe, you can go back. The answer to this is, it's kind of a trick question, because there's never really a point that they squared up. And I think when we say that to setters a lot of times, well, square up, you gotta square up, you gotta square up. It always made me think of the door opening and closing. Like, okay, I'm running and now all of a sudden I have to square up. And that's not what we wanna do, because at the point where you would be doing that, you should be thinking about your set. You should be thinking about the set, right? So the path, which includes the ball, but it has to go to target, okay? Your path is going to target, not to the ball. You go to the ball, it's gonna be a straight line. It's gonna give us a bad angle, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna catch, 3-step move, right, left, right, okay? So kind of how I term footwork. We did some of this, some 3-step move stuff yesterday. If anything is beyond 3 steps, you're sprinting and you're thinking about the finish. In this case, the finish is going to be a right foot pivot move. A lot of coaches call this a spin set. I absolutely do not like calling it a spin set, because it indicates that there's going to be this movement kind of through the set. It ends up looking a little bit like a spin, which is why they call it that way. But if our path is good, we're really trying to get vertical, right? Steps like that, skip. You're going to show everybody, okay? That I'm stepping and I'm getting vertical. So the finish is going to be path to target, plant, right foot to the ball, right eye, as we talked about yesterday, and we're going to drive my knee to target. Here. I'm not going to do this. If I do this, I'm going to spin at the end, and I do not want to be turning through the set. I don't want this motion as I'm setting. Okay, because again, the hitter's not going to really be able to tell if I release it early, it's going to be off. If I release it tight or late, it's going to be tight. I could set a perfect ball, but be moving through it, and you still don't even, the hitter still doesn't even know why it got where it got. Okay, so we're going to jump and we're going to catch with this. So we're really just looking at their path right now and that jump and pivot. Look at the knee, look at the path. Okay, and then they're catching the ball above their head, and they're handing it back to me. Good. So she shouldn't be, when you guys land, just land. Don't try to spin through it. We want to kind of see what your path is. Good. They should be getting really vertical here. They got a little straight. And if coaches are watching too, at home also, because we get a lot of coaches that are watching, which is great. I've been watching Temecula's and Londi and Mara and Roland and been watching some of their stuff too, which I've enjoyed. So we got coaches on here too. Coaches, if I say like, hey, they're getting inside the ball, can you show me inside the ball? You know what I mean? Like this? Can you show me that? Doing it wrong? So Stephanie's going to do it wrong here, okay? Try to go off of one. Do exactly what you did. That was wrong. Good. Okay, so you can see how much she's going to have to turn at the end. So that's a term I'll use, like, hey, you're inside it, which just means exactly what she did, is like, hey, I just took off. And this happens a lot. This happens a lot when a player is going, okay, just go. Right? And we take off and we don't even know where the ball is. This happens defensively, it happens in serve receive, okay? It happens in a lot of skills. It happens with hitting. You just kind of go, and we don't know where the ball is. We're not assessing where the ball is, okay? So if they get inside it and then they're going here and they're trying to pivot around, okay, that's not great. So they should just kind of naturally turn. The other thing I want you to look at, they're doing a good job with it. Stephanie, can you do this wrong? Do the path correctly, but never face target. Just come at me. Got it? Yes, that's excellent. Stephanie is a pro doing it wrong. Okay, do it again and actually jump it. That was excellent. This is really common what Stephanie just did. Notice her path is really good actually, right? We just kind of drew an arc where she's going. It's really good. This is crazy to me. I was using this as an example. I'm sorry if it's a lot of talking right now, but I want to explain what we're doing because it ends up being a lot of dynamic stuff. We'll get all your stuff in, just hang in there. Okay, it's crazy to me how many people like have paths where they just don't turn. And I always reference like, hey, it's like you're at school and you're like in a hallway and you're turning. You know, it's like no one turns a corner like this, right? But it happens with setting. Okay. Let's do a couple more real quick, and then we're going to do a little exercise, and then we're going to kind of do it live, okay? Here we go. Catch. Good. Catch. Good. Catch. Good. One more. And we're going to do, I want everybody to stop, and you're going to do a little exercise. I want you guys to do this here. Is just start on your right foot, okay, and just down and up, right? Just give me like 10 of these. You guys go. Down, up, down, up. Just gonna get a little exercise in with it. Okay? Some of you guys might be younger and you're like, I can't even jump off my right foot. It's just like get a little exercise in, get 10 reps with it. We're gonna do one more little exercise with it, which is just gonna be a plant and jump. Okay, so this is essentially a skip. Okay? So I'm going to step and drive. Step and drive. So both of you guys, step now and drive. Start with your left. Left, step, drive. Left, step, drive. And the knee is up. The knee is not spinning. Step, drive. Okay? Okay, let's look at step real quick, and then we're gonna look at Jared. We're kind of doing it two different ways. When you guys are doing these exercises, I want you to do 10 to 15 of these. Okay? Let's watch step. I'm gonna critique step here real quick. Okay, that was a little bit better, but what I don't want you doing is trying so hard to get this knee up that you're not focusing on, or I'm sorry, it would be the other one. Jumping off our right. I don't want you focusing so much on getting your knee up that you're not focusing on the foot that's actually pushing. This should be, I'm bounding off this step, right? Opposed to stepping and just really trying to get my knee. Okay, Jared, go. You see, like his knee is coming up as a result of pushing. Okay. Obviously jumps better than stuff, but that's part of it, is making sure we're actually jumping and going. Okay? Jared, go outside real quick. Okay, so we'll add the set element to this also. Prepping, if you go back to day one, we talked about prepping and all that. Watch their hands through this. And again, they should be facing target when they're setting. Okay, so it's just If we have a partner, you can do this against the wall. The athletic motion itself is just really important though. I think off one leg stuff is important. There's some times where you kind of have to do it blocking wise. There's times where middles running off of 1 foot, things like that. Drive that knee up. Good. Good, and switch. Very good. Good. Jared doesn't always do it this well, but get the camera on him and all of a sudden he's shining. Awesome. That was great. Both of you guys. Okay. We talked about, we kind of have an understanding of this type of motion. Now we're going to do and demo a tight ball situation. So we said this is all about off ball, but we're going to add tight ball too because it's really the same sort of move. Okay? So real quick, I want you guys to do the same couple exercises with your left foot. Okay? So now we're doing the opposite. Okay? Here, up, up. Everybody's doing this at home. Go. Off your left foot. Your left foot might not be as strong as your right. Try to keep your knee aligned. Okay, so your knee's not buckling in. Good, 10, and then we're gonna do a step. So we're gonna right, step, drive off our left. Okay? Your other left. Your other left. Think tight ball, just pretend the net's there. Yep. Okay, good. So we'll do the same thing catching. So you guys get back on like a back row setter spot. You guys are going to catch and then just feed back to me. They're going to do the same move as the right, except they're just going to reverse it completely. So it's going to be the same thing. They're not going to do this. This will be like getting inside the ball. They're going to be here, getting to the net. And what I don't want to see is this position. I want to see an open position. Okay. Just do a couple of these. I want to show you some libero stuff. Catch. See, they're already in position. They're already open. Already open. Try not to turn. That's a little bit of a catch. Good. It's already open, just like you're receiving. Good. So you don't have a lot of turning in there. Good. And good. All right, Jared, go target outside step here. Okay, you can see the set, and they're going to get themselves into what I call, go to the net real quick, a mock side set position. Okay, so the shoulder to elbow is parallel to the net. All right, it's not a full side set position where their hands are going to be uneven. Okay, we're in this mock side set position. Here, set, release, hands can still be even. So let's see it live. All right, here we go. The other foot. Left foot, left foot, left foot. That's too much of a side set. Just mock side set. Maybe still too much. If your elbow's away from the net or away from the ball, not what we want. Okay, I'm not going super tight because I just want you guys to be able to see it. Switch. Quick, quick. Go. Yeah, that's good. No. Tougher one. Get off the left. Left. Good. This is turning your body away from the net so you don't go under the net or into the net. Okay, good. Now we're going to be liberos here real quick. Okay. You guys are coming from left back. And you guys right now are just going to do your right foot move. So this is great for the liberos where you might be coming from left back or middle back and you want to set, okay, either outside or back. You want the foot that is furthest from the line to be the foot that we pivot on. Because once you jump, you want to get as much over the line as possible. This is legal, right? So if I jump here, I'm actually further away from the ball. So if I get past it here, and I jump off my right, I can actually, once I jump, I'm over the line, but I'm legal, all right? Okay, target for me real quick. So I'm going to toss a little tighter ball here. There's jumping from the right. I'm not real concerned if they're over the line right now. They're learning how to do the move. Good, Garrison. You can see, like, it really jumped while you get way over the line. Jared backs up. You could do this, right? Barrows. Good. Okay, a lot of the barrows are doing that exactly, but that's all right. Okay, that's awesome. These are all moves that you guys could do. There could be a wall in any direction, just bouncing back. All you need is somebody to be tossing the ball. I encourage you to work on the leg strength stuff. TK is going to be on later. We got one more session with these guys, okay, where we're going to be hitting, doing some hitting stuff, carryover from where we worked on hand and ball contact and snap. This next one's going to be on rotation and flexion, okay, kind of the next stages. Remember, we said we were going to go reverse order if you watched the snap, because we're kind of talking about the finish, and then we're going to go backwards on that. Probably next week we'll talk more about approach and feet to ball and all that stuff. We got a really good schedule planned for next week as well. And I know TK is going to be coming in our second hour, working with some liberos and doing some strengthening stuff also. So she'll do some leg strengthening stuff. Make sure you're watching that. We want to try to incorporate a lot of fitness elements in this too, because as you guys are at home, you're not able to get in the gym. You guys got to find ways that to stay in shape and stay strong, but we want it to be volleyball specific also. So when you come back, you're ready to go. It's not just like, hey, go run around the block or run a mile. That's not really specific to volleyball. That doesn't do a lot of good, okay? We want to do strength and conditioning things that are going to really help you with volleyball. Even if you're doing some of the yoga sessions, that's flexibility and all that stuff, and a lot of core strength. That's great for volleyball. So we're trying to keep it as sport and skill specific as possible. All right, great job, you guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes with some hitting work with rotation and flexion. So we'll see you in a couple minutes.